Hello, content curators. So, welcome. You're to part two of your community project. Remember that the deliverable for your community project, you've gone through the archives, you've gone through the unpublished pieces, all the NOLA-centric publications, whatever you're doing, and you have written your introduction. You've gotten feedback from me on that introduction, so make sure and make those feedback changes. You then have your 10 posts, right? As in the 10 pieces that you want to publish. So now we're going to get into how do you actually schedule these out, okay? So you have 10 posts, which means that you're going to actually have 2 weeks of coverage because we post one a day in the featured voice. Okay, so what you're going to do is you are going to log into Via NOLA V, right? Go to vianolav.org and you have a login button up here. So go ahead and log in. Now, once you are in this system, you needed to make sure that you emailed me because if you emailed me, I switched your version in the backend to an editor. This is really important. That means the only work you want to work with are the ones that you are pulling from, right? The articles that you're pulling for your pieces. Don't go into any other articles because we have like hundreds of users using this and I don't want you to mess up any of the articles, anything like that. Okay, so only go into the pieces that you're doing. So what you're going to do is you have all these new tabs up the top now since you have editing privilege. So you want to go into edit page. And what that's going to do is it's going to pull up all the 7,300 pieces that are in the back end of Via NOLA V. You already have searched through those archives anyway. In the left-hand menu, you're going to see a little pin that says post. Just click on that. All right. And that is going to pull up all of those posts. Now, this little search box is where you're going to search for the articles that you have chosen for your curation pieces. All right. So, for example, if I'm doing the solution journalism one, I am going to choose. I know you will is in the, you don't have to put in the entire title, just put in a main word. And that's going to then search all the posts and then it will pull up the posts that obviously have you will in it, which is only a single post. All right. So let's say that my curation is on solution journalism. So I'm going to then click edit. All right. And then I already did this one and vetted it. So I'll just take this out so you can see. So you'll have this already created, right? The article will be there. So what you want to do is you want to put your cursor at the top. If you need to, if this is in the way, like then just put your cursor to the side and hit the return and it'll give you more space. Okay. So then you're going to copy your introduction piece at the top of this, right? Like, oh, for this curation, I'm doing blah, blah, blah. Make sure you tell about it, then include your introduction. Very important. You have to include when the piece was originally published. Okay. Each piece is going to be obviously have a different publication date. If you need to know it, you go over to here to publish. What it says is published on, and it gives you the date. Make sure you put that date up here because some of you have pulled pieces from 2013, 2012. We obviously don't want readers thinking that's new information. So we want to put in when it was actually published. Okay. So you're going to scroll down. Don't touch the article. All right. And then you're going to get to this part that says post options. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a checkbox in the scaled featured image. And all of you are going to choose, you're going to get these three options. You're going to choose featured voice. All right. Because that means it's going on the front cover for this. That way, for your entire curation week, you have, or actually 2 weeks, you have those all as featured voice. Okay. I'm going to put this as masthead because that's what it is. Then make sure it has an image. That you got to check that. If it doesn't have an image, then what you're going to do is, let me take this one out. If it does not have an image, you need to click on set featured image. And then you can look in the media library for any of this. So I'm going to look up mental health, right? And see what we get for that. And so there's a lot. Here's the picture that was chosen. So I'm just going to choose that. And then you click set featured image. All right. So if yours does not have an image, make sure it does. Then the excerpt. So this is 2 to 3 sentences that explain about number one, the article, and number two, who the writer is. All right. So this says, due to COVID causing anxiety, isolation, and paranoia among Tulane students, coupled with the high demand for therapists, as the stigma around mental health issues has started to ease, more college students are seeking the needed support of counseling more than ever before. Mental health significantly affects college students' lives, and Tulane University is struggling with assisting these students. So student and writer Jordan Tabasky, who's awesome, looks into You Will and how it can be used at the university. All right, so notice, gives a little bit of background. Make sure to state who the journalist is and the writer, and then what their kind of point is how they can use it at the university. Then badge should be fine, should be via NOLA. Tags, if you want to add in more tags, it's just search tags, what people would look up to find it, you can. Don't touch the categories. Those should have, unless they're wrong, but it should have at least one, no more than two, right? Since this has to do with mental health, this then is about health, right? Then this is the important part of your publishing. So whatever original date it's published on, obviously you're going to change it. So what you want to do is you're going to click edit. Now, if you are publishing this on a Monday, that means that you're going to publish it for the Sunday at 1 a.m., right? I'm sorry, for that date at 1 a.m. So if I am publishing this for Monday, April 11th, I would then put in Monday, April, or I put in April 11th, 2022, but I'm going to do it at 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So that way I know that it's going up right when it turns over into Monday at 1 o'clock in the morning. All right. Then what you would do is you would click update. So I'm going to show you it through this. And so you would go through and you're going to give a date to every single one of yours. Now, remember, since you're curating this project, think about when is the most timely manner for this to take place. For example, if you're covering jazz music, look up Jazz Fest dates, schedule it that Monday through Friday during Jazz Fest. That makes sense. If you're doing festival season, schedule it during French Quarter Fest time, right? If you're doing food in New Orleans, you might want to schedule it during crawfish season. You might want to schedule it during, well, if you're doing drinks, like if you're doing the best cocktails New Orleans has to offer, then you want to look up when Tales of the Cocktail comes to New Orleans, right? Look up a time that makes sense of when these would go out, okay? So you have them all scheduled. The way that you want to check this, you're going to go back to all posts and it's going to pull up all of these blue tabs, right? All mine published sticky. And here's the important one, scheduled. So you want to click on scheduled and your post should show up there for the scheduled date, right? So for example, you will, remember I scheduled that for April 11th. It should be showing here, right? Then because college is not for everyone, that's scheduled for April 12th. Okay, so make sure yours are showing up here. If they're not, you didn't schedule them correctly. Okay, so you've got to make sure they show up here. And voila, then you are done. So takeaways and to-dos from this. Number one, make sure you email me and tell me that you're on content curation and you need your rights changed so I can change you into an editor. Number two, go through, find all of your pieces, schedule them. Actually, part two, find the time frame for your 10 pieces for those 2 weeks that makes the most sense. All right, and that fits. Then part three, go into those, schedule them out just as I showed you. Part four, go into the scheduled folder and make sure that they're showing up. Okay, and then your project is done. Congratulations. All right, so let me know if you have any questions. I will talk to you soon. All right, thanks everyone.